Yeah, let's go.
Hey, look at you. You found Hella Vella. Ooh, there's Tess Combs. I don't know what she's doing. She's leaning forward there.
Sorry.
She is with us from her studio, and I am with us from my living room. How is everybody today? And guess what? This is the very first of a series that Hella Vella is putting out called Where Are They Now? And we're starting out with Tess Combs because, as everybody knows, there's nobody out there who moves it and makes it happen like Tess does. So say hi, Tess.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Az.
Well, we definitely all know you in the Vela community and love you to pieces. You have your own Vela group out on Facebook, which is a venue for an electronic venue, of course, for people to brag up what they do as
Right.
authors in Kindle Vela. And I think that's a great thing. Tess is always trying to encourage people to be more, what would you say, Tess? Less humble, less.
Less imposter syndrome, more confidence.
There you go. That's it.
Believe in
That's it.
yourself and be comfortable with saying it out loud when you actually are slaying it, you know? Don't
Yeah.
hide it. Encourages other people when you can talk about yourself in a positive way.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, I should have just said, "Why don't you tell us
I
what you got
got it.
to do?" But I didn't. So, um, and that I love it. I belong to the group. I think it's great. They've even dragged a few out of me, and I'm very
Yeah.
reticent. It's tough for me, but I feel like it's a safe space where you won't
Yeah.
be thought of as a mook or an asshole for putting forth, hey, look, this
Mhm.
is what I've done. You know, um, I think I think I definitely most people shy away from the yay me syndrome. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
rough.
but it's a good opportunity to realize like it's important to acknowledge what you're doing and not to sweep it under the rug, you
Right
know?
on.
That's
And
important.
yes, it is. And since we're doing the Where Are They Now video, that was something that has happened between our last video and now that you have done is build that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vella bragging rights is what that one's called, and also Kindle Vella getting started. And that one's growing pretty fast too, and that one's great for anyone who wants to onboard into Vella. So if you maybe you have a ton of books, or maybe you haven't written anything, and maybe Kindle Vella might be it. That's a great group to go in, and you can ask any questions, no questions too dumb, and then all these Vella vets just answer you and help you, which is pretty
Isn't
cool.
that wonderful? I
It's
love
so
it. I
cool.
love it.
Yeah.
Because you've gotten it. You figured out that it's about the community. It's about giving more than you take
Hmm.
and helping everybody stay on the raft. Uh,
Absolutely.
this ain't the Titanic. Leonardo DiCaprio would have had a little room on that headboard.
There's
He'd have been
room on the door.
so all right, so the next thing I want to ask you is the last time we talked, now the only thing you did have out were Vellas. You had Slit Throat Saga.
Hmm.
You had just started the first Dryad.
Yeah, I think we did. I had Slit Throat Saga. So if I had First Dryad, that's my whole repertoire so far. That's 6 Vellas. And when I did the first 3 with Eric and you, that was when First Dryad had just come out. Like it hadn't
Yes,
even done anything yet. And now it's my top seller. So that's pretty fun.
I
That's
knew it
pretty
would be.
cool.
I knew it'd be hot as a
Thank you.
firecracker. I knew that sucker'd be hot. First of all, it's the first Dryad. You
Hmm.
see a lot of the last
The last.
of everything, right? But boo,
You want
you
to know how
don't
that
see them.
happened too? I was gonna name it. I hadn't even really plot. So I pick a title before I plot. So I was gonna go with The Last Dryad, and I looked it up, and there was already a book called The Last Dryad, and I was like,
No way.
oh. And so I redid my whole plot idea
Yeah,
to go with the first dryad. I'm like, this is way cooler. Like, how am I gonna make that work? The first dryad.
I
You
like
have to
it
tell the
very
whole
much.
story. So it was pretty fun. I redid the whole thing just to get that title.
Dude, yeah. Well, I do the same thing you do. I don't know. I think the initial part of the plot, the embryonic part of the plot,
Uh-huh.
comes at the same time the title does.
Yeah.
You know, And yeah, so they're kind of like a little package, like
Gotta,
the
yeah.
mind opens up a little package, and
Hmm.
this could work, and hey, you could call it this.
Exactly. And then you start like kind of, oh, if I call it this, then what's the plot gonna be like? Well, does that work with the title? And so, yeah, it starts to kind of play off of each other,
Oh, and you know
especially if you
somebody's
want to
going to
write
riff
something
off of
marketable.
you. Somebody's
Mhm.
going to riff off of you and be like the first
The
werewolf,
first something else.
the
Yeah.
first mermaid,
It's pretty cool, the origin story of
first
a
dipshit.
mythical character. The first Vella author.
I'm that one,
Um,
the
oh my
dipshit,
gosh.
not the Villa
You're
author.
you're beautiful and brilliant.
But it was brilliant. It was a stroke of
Thank you.
genius, and you can see it because you're doing incredibly well. You
Thank
know,
you. Thank you.
you're not just getting reviews from your Aunt Franny out here like some of us. But
Well, I appreciate the reviews from my Nana and all the people
yes,
who do come out and thank you. Please also still review. I love you.
yes, that's not it.
Of course.
Nanas and
And
papas and
aunties and
aunties,
all of the,
everything out there.
God bless
That's
them.
not it.
Hmm.
It's like that but you're getting organic reads, and that's the holy grail, kid. That's the holy grail.
It's starting to happen. It's really, I'm in this transition point where I can, like, at the end of a day, I'm like, I'll tell my husband, Nate, what just happened? Like, something's different. People, it's so weird. It's really cool that we get to document this, but it, how people are interacting with the story and interacting with me, even on socials and stuff, is a little different. I'm like, I don't know. Before I feel like I was like begging for reads, and now I'm like, oh, people want to read it.
The worm
That's
has
so
turned,
cool.
baby.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's really cool. I'm so thankful.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's beautiful. And so that's another wonderful place, that the wonderful thing that has happened, between your last video and now. But I'd like to also touch on the books that you have
Hmm.
issued out of your Vellas. Now,
Yes.
Slit Throat Saga was your first Vella, I think.
First Vella to book. Yeah. And
Right.
my first Vella.
Right,
Hmm.
right. So it was one that you cut off for a season one, for God's sakes. It's that thick. It's that
It's
thick.
pretty big. Yeah.
And and it's a season one. And it's a beautiful book. I meant to have it right here by me. Do you have
I
one?
have it. Yeah, I have it.
Okay, show it. Because I have this. It's lovely, absolutely lovely. And it's a beautiful product
How
there.
thick? She's pretty thick.
Pretty thick now.
She's
And
pretty
show
thick.
us the back and the
Yeah.
spine.
You see it?
Okay, there's the back. And let's see the spine.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, okay. See, look at this.
From
And they always do from the mind of Tess Combs. And I
yeah.
love that. I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
put it on there. It's right there.
Right there, right there. Tess Combs. Yeah, we see that. Then from the
Okay.
mind of, it came into focus there at the
It
last.
did.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think that's a great shtick. I really do. Who did that before you? Can you say? I can tell
I
you.
think the first time you can tell me.
Yeah, I can tell you who did it.
Okay. I think the first time I've seen it was Shonda Rhimes. And it was from, I forget what show it was of hers, but she did From the Mind of Shonda Rhimes. And I was like, whew, that is amazing. And then I was like, I wonder if I can use that. I hope I can.
Now, the one from
But
my generation who did it,
what?
it was from the mind of Stephen King.
Really?
Yes.
I
Now, he
didn't
didn't put
know
it on his
that.
books. They put it in
Uh-huh.
his
In his
ads.
marketing.
Yeah, in his
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah. It's a good
But
idea though.
but yeah, I think it's great to stick it right on the book, dude. Right on the
Thank
book.
you.
Make it
For
your
me, it
mantra.
was a little like bold of a move because I feel like I'm saying like, no, like, I got something here. Do you know what I mean? So that was versus just like Tess Combs, which is when I used to put books out, I just did Tess Combs. But I wanted to reinvent what I was doing and I wanted people to understand how much thought I put into it. That I'm not just quickly just chattering out a book. I want to write masterpieces. So that's kind of why I went with From the Mind of. So you're getting my mind in this book.
Well, what's interesting is you're finding your audience, and you're sort of, I wouldn't say you're following the tropes. It's like riding a horse
Mm-hmm.
in the underbrush near the road,
Yes.
but not on the road.
That is exactly what I'm trying to do. For right now, this stage in my career, I need it. I can't just write something with no tropes in it, you know. That'll
No,
come. That'll come later, you know, give me 10 years or something like that of doing this and people maybe I could do like fringe stuff. But I don't want to just write the tropes. I want to use the trope to write something you've not seen
that's
before.
exactly. You're using the tropes as a tool. You're not letting them run
Right.
run rough shot over you. You're using them exactly how they should be used,
Oh, thank you.
which is a way to suggest, okay, let it be this. You can make it anything else you want, but let
Mhm.
it be this
Yeah.
um at its core. And it's
Yeah.
usually something very fundamental, like
Yeah. Yeah.
boy meets girl or
Right.
second
Forbidden
chance
love or something,
romance.
yeah. Something that everyone can recognize, not even too fringy with the tropes. Like forbidden love is a very well like well used trope, you know?
Everybody wants that. Hey man, there
Yeah.
is no forbidden love on earth anymore, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So
So and you have automatic tension, but then I'll try to challenge myself too. Like, well, what if I made a character who doesn't speak at all? So what if I took this trope and then I did something really difficult with it? Or
I love that.
and when I challenge myself, then I'm creative. Then it's fun. I'm like, and what if also her lover doesn't talk either? How can I make a really dynamic plot? Use these tropes, flip everything on its head, and have a story from beginning to end as a masterpiece. That's what I try to do at least. But
Right. And are you going to end Slit Throat Saga after season 2?
Sitho Saga will have 2 seasons. I might do a spin-off. We'll see when we get there. Um, but that's gonna have 2 books and it'll be done. That's the
And
plan.
for you who think that Slit Throat Saga is a slasher
Oh,
novel, it is
it's
not.
not.
Okay.
I,
It's
I
the
always
method
say,
of execution used by a government, an
yeah,
unfair government. It's very, very oh my God, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Katniss Everdeen. I'm thinking
yeah.
of
The Hunger. So I
Hunger
always
Games.
say the Hunger Games meets Divergent meets Viking lore meets Tess Combs. So
Right.
if you
Which,
could imagine all those smushed up into like an epic fantasy dystopian novel, that's what I would say it
yeah, except contain it, blow it up inside the sphere into tiny little
is.
pieces.
Yep. Yeah, it's got some Tess in there. It's got some Tess
Yeah.
Combs. It's
It's
pretty fun.
really good.
Thank you.
It's really good.
It's one of my
So,
favorites.
have you sold many paperbacks?
That one I probably sold the most paperbacks.
Can you give us an idea? Because I'm thinking like,
Oh gosh.
you know, I don't know what I'm thinking.
How many? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm so sorry.
Come on, are you serious?
I really
I'd
don't
know this
remember.
down to the
How
one.
many paperbacks? I know
Well,
many
I'd know
Vella.
all of it down. I'd know how many ebooks I'd sold. I can't remember my episodes on Vella, but I can remember the aggregate numbers.
Yeah, I think I've done, I don't want to misspeak either. I think I've done about maybe 50 paperbacks.
Yeah, I was going to say 50 would be
Yeah,
a bunch.
I've done about 50 paperbacks, and some of them, not that would be maybe not including like autographed copies that people have purchased
See,
straight
that's a
from me.
bunch. That's a bunch. Even 50 on its own, that's a fucking lot.
Yeah, so that went well. I wish I'd done my launch a little better, but it was my first time kind of getting back in the game. So my Underglow launch went way better as far as pre-orders and how I set up my reviewing and all of that stuff. I was
Now,
much more
see, I'm
prepared.
not doing pre-orders, and you are, and you're doing okay with that.
I didn't for the Slit Throat Saga. I didn't. I just went for it. Full price, just went for it. And so my ebook sales could have been a lot better, especially since this was my first time writing a book in many, many years. I really should have taken better advantage of that, but I didn't. So I have a little regret there. But the paperbacks went well because I did them all at once. I did ebook, Kindle Unlimited, paperback. I just put everything out. People went straight for the paperbacks. So I never really uh, hit those high ranks for ebooks, if that makes sense. Um,
Right, but you can throw out another special anytime on that
Yeah,
sucker.
I've got to do now, but I did miss that initial boost to get me those reviews early on. So, for example, Slit Throat Saga came out first. I have 9 reviews on that. They're all good, but I have 9. Underglow just came out last month. I have 20. So the difference in
Well, yeah.
we'll
And I
get
mean,
there.
but like I said, you're getting a bunch of really organic reads, and there's not that many of us getting those.
But also, I noticed paperback sales will go up when it comes out, and then that's it. If that makes sense. So I don't expect to make a lot of paperback sales in a year on Slit Throat Saga. I
No,
expect to make monthly
no.
sales.
Now, this is something you might know or you might not know. I might have to
Tell
ask
me.
my expert who's been with Kindle for a very long time.
Tell me.
And that is if you enroll your ebook in
Uh-huh.
the Kindle Unlimited program,
Yes.
are you then allowed to freely distribute the paperback
Yeah.
anywhere you'd like?
Mhm. Yeah, you can do paperback wide and even if you're in Kindle Unlimited. It's
Oh, okay, good, 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 good,
two
good.
different things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to opt for. Is that what you did?
No, I went with the free ISBN because I'm not really doing an in-store push. I can change that though. You can go back in and buy an ISBN package when you're ready to maybe get into stores and you can redo it. I think you would have to redo the whole thing. I'm not too sure about that. You'd have to check. Like
I don't
re-upload
know.
a new paperback. But you can do that and then go try to get into stores and apply for those and stuff like that. But I'm not ready to do that now, so I just went with the free ISBN. Which
Yeah,
means
yeah.
then
Oh, yeah. No, no, no.
I'm
And
on
I only did the ISBN. Well, I don't know. I don't want to have to redo anything. I
yeah,
don't
well
have to
then
redo
just go
anything.
with the ISBNs and then you can go wide and do all that stuff.
Yeah. And but anywho, now so then when Slit Throat Saga came out, you're saying that you could have done a little better and you did a little better with
Mm-hmm. The Underglow.
the Underglow. The Underglow, how did that the first dryad is so it's so dominant right now. I've even
Mm-hmm.
forgotten the Underglow, which is stunning itself. It's
Thank
freaking
you.
stunning itself. Not only is the book stunning, the writing stunning, the cover's stunning. I want a copy.
Oh, do you want to see it? I have it.
Yes, please. We want to see them all. Okay. There we go. Look at that sucker. I love the matte covers on these. Woo, look at that.
I
Look at that.
love like
Look
the
at that.
lacing on it too.
Now, is it time for you to give a shout out to the
To my
exposes?
designer.
Yes, to the man who does your
Yes,
covers.
always. I think everyone in like my personal author group. So I have like a Vella World of Tess Combs, which is my author group.
Yeah.
So you can always like find me there and hang out with me. But everyone knows now who Nate is because I talk about him all the time. But he edits all my Vella episodes. He edits my books before they go live. He does my interior design, which the interior design of my paperbacks so
They're
pretty,
beautiful. It's quite
so
beautiful.
beautiful. Oh, it's always do flip throughs, and I'm like, wow, how did I get this lucky? He does my covers. So, and he literally, whatever ideas I have, he will sit there and he will make it happen. Usually, we're taking the photos ourselves and everything that go on there. Um, like the first Dryad cover, I hand drew it and he vectored it and did it all up. So we're a pretty great team. He does all that for me, puts it out, but we haven't even got it started. So the more I make, the more I can hire my own husband. And he can like slowly leave his job and start doing stuff for us, which is exciting because we have like trailers we're going to shoot, real life photo shoots for the covers, and he is a composer. Like he has his master's degree in orchestrating beautiful scores for film and video games. So he's gonna do like actual soundtracks that you can download and stuff like that. I'm excited. We're gonna do so much stuff.
Well, I'm wondering why, I mean, listen to yourself there. Well, yeah, I'm just thinking that Nate could hire himself out to these to other authors while
Yes,
we're waiting for you to get, to the point where you can
where we
hire
can
him full
both be
time.
full time.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
thinking.
he has edited for other authors in the past. I'm not sure right
Well, no, I'm
now.
not just talking about that. I'm talking about the way he does
All
the
the stuff.
art, the formatting.
Maybe we can convince him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
I
done
mean,
some
that's
trailers for people,
it's
and
it's not a bad side hustle.
it's not bad. And he's
No, and
very good at
if
it.
it's beautifully formatted, I'm sure that if he's reasonable, you could get him to, I mean, other people would want to hire my formatting's being done by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And this is they're my super good friends,
Mm-hmm.
and she's in the biz, so they're doing this one. I get
Yeah,
one and done. I got to learn from it because after that I'm cut loose. So, but
yeah,
I can hire this same guy. He has done it for other authors
I see.
before.
Okay.
See, but
Some
that's
people
her
hire.
husband. That's her husband. She's the
Oh,
writer that I talk about. It's got the, it's now it's like 65 books out on
right,
Kindle, and has been doing it since 2010. The one that I went to the writers conference with, and she stands up
right.
and she goes, "This is bullshit," you know, and just does her own thing
Mm-hmm.
and made it work. I mean, made it pay.
Good.
And her husband supports her, not quite to the extent Nate does you, but because he doesn't edit for her.
Mm-hmm.
But he does, and he doesn't do her art, but he does all the formatting.
Yeah, formatting that's what really elevates the book, I think. If you can get that formatting. I mean, even stuff I would never think about where the lines end in an episode. We will literally edit an episode so the line ends in the right place so it can look beautiful before we turn the page. Things like that. You have to be really meticulous to, I think, to elevate the interior design of the book. And yeah, that's Nate is meticulous. He's
Yeah.
really he's really talented.
And I
So
can vouch
I'm
for the
lucky.
ease of the process too. I can vouch for the ease of the process in terms of getting it transferred to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
because all they did for me, now they had to, it was too big to well, no, wait, the interior wasn't, but the cover and stuff was too
You have to
big
fix
to
the cover.
transfer. So they
Okay.
had to stick it up in a, like a OneDrive site or whatever. And I had to
Oh,
download it
okay.
from there. Um, but it's a real easy transfer. And if it's formatted correctly, you just put it right into that Kindle form
Yep.
and pull up that file, and
See.
psh,
Yep.
Bob's your uncle. So it's not difficult. So you could be hustling that man.
I could.
Listen to me talking trash. Poor Nate.
Yeah, we won't let him listen to this. It's okay.
No, so it's really going well for you, I think.
I think so. I'm really, really enjoying it, and it's feeling good. And I'm the kind of person, once there's growth, I'm in it. I'm doing it, and I'm that validation is there. Even if it's small growth, then I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can keep going. I can keep building, and it's really fun when you get like leaps and bounds in growth, which is kind of what's happening now. Like it's starting to move. Even my switching out the underglow and the first dryad for my top, because slit throat was my top seller, and finally decided, all right, I need to do a fantasy romance. Went for the underglow, which really, even ebook wise, it's going really well. And I think I have 15,000 Kindle Vella reads on just the underglow. Maybe more. I think I'm
What?
getting close to 18 on there. But I have these like little episodes. If you've read they're very small, little bite-sized 600, 800 word episodes.
Oh
So
yeah. Okay, you're
I would
talking about the
have to
Vella now. I thought you
the
meant
Vella. So,
about
no. No, I would be on vacation if I did
the
1800
ebook. I
word
thought you
ebook
meant about
sales
the
right
ebook.
today. No, no, no. Talking about the Vella. Um, yeah, so I had these little bitty underglow episodes, and so it was going really well, but not my royalties, my bonus payments were a bit smaller. So I was hustling really hard. I was getting a lot of reads, but I wasn't getting the like oomph in my bank account. Once I had enough of the first dryad to move forward, and I went full different direction. I went big episodes for the first dryad. Now, I wouldn't recommend that for everyone because they're hard to sell.
Yes.
They are. Once someone gets past the first three and they see that 40 tokens to unlock,
It's
it's
rough.
hard to sell. You really have to, I mean, make sure it's your best work if you're going to do that. Make sure those first 3 episodes are mm, before, because people are not, they're going to be like, whoa, why is it so many tokens? Um, yes, but once I took the risk and I switched my first dryad to be my top seller, that's when it really started. It got a lot easier. It got a lot easier because you could get through the book in 33 episodes, and I got enough pay for a whole novel. Whereas with the Underglow, it was 118, I think, to get through the whole book. So different strategies. I think do what works for you. But if you're going to go with big episodes, make sure you have spent the time to have every moment of that episode catch people to the
And
best of your ability.
I think you should have proven yourself on something with the smaller eps too.
Yeah, I would not have started off on Vella with the first dryad. The first dryad was my sixth. So when I started Slit Throat Saga, I would start the same way again. I think I I think I did pretty okay with launching on Vella. I did, 1,000 to 1,500 words an episode. I released almost every day to get that backlog going.
Yeah.
So my first month I had like 2 weeks. So I started mid-January. So my first month I did like 300 something bucks. By the next month I was at 800 something. By the third month I was at 1,900 something, no ads or anything like that, just from reads. And that's what motivated me to, okay, I need to start novellas.
Yeah.
And not all of them sold that way. Tuck Me In is a really good story, but it doesn't catch just like all the others. I did the young ones, didn't catch like the others. I did a nonfiction, didn't catch like the others. They're all really good, but it wasn't until the Underglow that I had another big one, and then the first Dryad, a huge one. So
Right, right. And I am loving that. Now show us the first dryad, please.
I don't have it. It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. Okay.
No, it's on pre-order, and I just ordered my first proof copy. So if we had this interview tomorrow, I would have it, but it's not here yet.
Wow.
So
Oops.
you
We
gotta
didn't
come
know that
back.
when we scheduled.
That's okay. You gotta come back for that
Yes, definitely.
sometime, and you'll get to see. Ooh, that's the craziest cover. And Nate's like touched it up a bit, but it's going good so far.
I love it. It's
Thank you.
beautiful. It's all white
It's
and
all white,
it's gorgeous.
which is I still can't believe we decided to do that because it's hard to do in the art world. Even when I'm painting, like white on white is difficult because you're just playing with shadows,
Uh-huh.
and you have to make an image stand out with just shadows, no color. Uh, so it's the texture that creates the depiction, the
Right.
image. So doing that for a graphic, doing that for a book is very difficult. I think that's the hardest we've worked on a cover, but it's stunning. I'm
I
excited.
also think I saw something on Facebook about you taking another painting commission.
Yeah. I put the paintbrushes aside for a while I was getting this writing career going because I painted professionally for a couple years, and just it was time to write. So that was really cool, and I kind of had the feeling it was coming. And I did a giveaway too where I was like, I guess I'll give away a painting. Like try to get myself to get the paint out, out of storage. But I wasn't that excited. I was like, oh, I guess I'll just do it. And then someone reached out and they had a big commission for me out of nowhere. And I was like, I guess I was right. I guess I'm painting.
What's the commission?
It's really cool. I don't mind sharing prices. I'm transparent like that. But it's 600 bucks, which is decent. And they want me to sit down with each member of their family and like just look at their essence kind of, and then paint an abstract of all of their essences together, which is kind of cool. I've
That
not had
is
anyone
cool.
commission that before. So I'm really excited about that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How
So
long?
that'll
I wonder how long you'll have to look at each person. You're going to take some photos, right?
yeah, I'll interview them, and I do know them too. I mean, so I am not coming from zero. But now I'm going to actually be looking at them with the intention of painting what I feel. So that'll be cool. I have some ideas already.
Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds great.
And that'll probably take a couple weeks because I got to order a big old canvas.
Oh yeah, how big?
I'm doing 4 foot by 3. So not too big. It's not the biggest I've done. I've done like a mural that
Well,
was
that's a
bigger than that.
bargain then. They're getting a bargain.
They're getting good. I of course I'm well priced.
Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
But I like the big ones too. They're more fun than the tiny ones.
Very cool. And back to your Vela journey. Do
Yes.
you now that you've got okay, so when Slit Throat Saga is finished with season 2, are you done with that?
Yeah, Slit Throat Saga season 2, I'm done. If I do a spin-off, it'll be very different and you could read it standalone. Like you could read it separately from Slit Throat Saga.
Okay.
So, but I'm not confident that I will do the spin-off. I have too many ideas. So maybe I think I will. If people want it, I'll probably do it.
I think my question that's coming is, have you finished enough to begin another
Another.
Vela?
Oh, yeah, no. I need to finish. I have 2 standalones on Vela that I really need to finish before I can start another.
And those
And then
are?
I have Tuck Me In, which is hopefully will be out next month. I'm almost finished. And then it's got to go through editing and all that stuff. And I call it the worst romance story ever told. It's a dystopian. It's pretty fun. So I have Tuck Me In and I have The Young Ones, which is another dystopian new adult novel. And that one's with my like sociopathic bad guy protagonist character. Once those 2 standalones are done, and because I'm writing the sequel to STS and the sequel to the First Dryad and the sequel to the Underglow, and I think I'm about a fourth or a third of the way done with all of them. So I'm still putting out episodes there. But what I'll do is I'll put out episodes and then I'll focus really hard on one. So I'm putting out episodes for everything, but I'm focusing on Tuck Me In. Once that's done, it's off my plate. And then once the Young Ones is done, I might not wait for the Young Ones. So I'd say it's October. By December, I'll probably have another Vela started. I'll be ready by then.
Wow.
And I should have another book out by then. So that'll be 4 this year. And then next year, I should have way more than 4.
Tess, you're a powerhouse. You are a powerhouse. And I don't know. I'm stoked to know you
Thank you.
because I've never known anybody that can put out the quality of work
Thank you.
at the rate.
Mm-hmm.
Even I don't think even the big names can do that, Tess. I
I
really
really
don't. I really don't.
thank you. Um,
Da, da, da.
that means a lot because I know you've actually read some of them, and that
Yes,
really
I
means a
have.
lot to me
I
that
have.
you would say
Uh,
that about
yeah,
the
it's true.
quality of my work. And yeah, I think too if the key for if you want to produce more quickly but still really elegantly write and plot, I try to I really work on the world. If you can get the world down and because I write fantasy as well, it's the world is important. If I can get the world down, the nuances of society, and that's one of the things I love to study is society, philosophy, anthropology, all of these things. If I can figure out how the society thinks, then that book becomes an isolated story in my mind. So I'm not like blurring the lines between books. When I write Slit Throat Saga, I can just go right boom back into that world because I'm like, oh, this is how mothers and fathers are. This is how people interact. This is why my character struggles. I'm back in it. Um, or even like the first Dryad, the fact that they call years circles and days are turns. All I have to do is think of that, and I'm right back in the first Dryad because that's what shapes their society. So I can, boom, I'm back to Aya's character. If I look at the underglow and I'm like, okay, I'm orally, I can't speak. I don't speak. I never say I can't speak. I don't speak. But I have a mission to save an entire race. Boom, I'm back in it. You know? So that's those are little like I have little like tricks that I use to snap back into the world so I can write authentically for that piece and I can run 5 or 6 at once. I hope that was interesting. I just blabbed for a while there.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
it is difficult when you're doing several to keep the lines from getting blurred, but that
Mm-hmm.
is a good trick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that people will benefit definitely from what
Thank you.
you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm one of them, I think.
Oh, yay.
Let me think for a second. Yeah, I think I got something out of that. I was thinking to myself, I
Yeah.
kind of do the opposite.
What do you
I
do?
I tend to let the reactions between the people show the
Mm,
rules of society
I
and
see.
the world. I let them see the world and experience the world, and that's how the reader gets the world.
I see.
Is that each, I don't know it ahead of time. I know it.
Oh, okay.
I know it by their interactions with each
As
other.
you're writing, you know it.
Right. As
Mm-hmm.
you know, these characters all take on a life of their own. The books all
Mm-hmm.
take on a life of their own. Everything takes on a life of its own. And if you let it, if you allow the muse to speak to you, then I think that you can wind up having some very unique work, you
Oh,
know.
beautiful. Yeah.
And I think that you definitely, I mean, you've definitely got a muse. I would say a muse on your shoulder, but I think the muse lives in your head.
Aw.
So,
You know what
yeah.
my nonfiction book is called, right? My nonfiction Vella is
What?
Call Me Muse.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's funny that you said that. That's
So
really
it
cool.
fits, right?
Yeah.
So I'm right, right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I think that
Yeah.
we all can be our own muses if we learn how beautiful our mind spaces are and how beautiful our storytelling is because we are literally we are crafting the stories of our lives as we go. And once we realize how beautiful and intentional and powerful that is, we can be our own muses. And yes, you have, maybe you have help from other muses around you because we're all connected, but the acknowledgement that I am a master storyteller, you are a master storyteller, that I don't know, that activates something in me. And I'm like, okay, I can do it. And once you believe you can do it, you can start doing all kinds of things. You can write 6 stories at once and they can all be
Yeah.
bestsellers. You can do
Yes, you can.
it.
And so to borrow a line from a movie. Now, if y'all don't know Tess has probably seen maybe 3 movies her whole life, but
Hey, I see movies.
but I'm going to end this interview with a line from As Good as It Gets.
I hadn't seen that one.
Okay. And this is Jack Nicholson here talking. It's
Okay,
like,
I know who that is.
I get you, and I see what others don't see. And that makes me feel good about me. So I see that Tess is an
Thank you.
absolute wonder. And I just know that you got such a great future ahead of you.
Thank you. Just getting started.
Look
This
how
is like
calm she is. She's so chill.
just settled, I guess, but also exploding at the same time. That's how I feel all the time. So, in here, even like my whole life, I don't think I'm just exploding out of here. But outside, I look people just thought I had nothing to say, I guess. A little orally there, but I have a lot. Hopefully, I'll get it all out in my lifetime.
Well,
That'd be
I've
great.
seen it. So kabam.
Thank you.
So I'm awesome. So,
You're one of the few.
oh,
You're one
that's
of the
crap
special
right
ones.
there. Everybody in the Vella community knows who you are.
Thank you.
And, if they get past their jealousy, they know.
They're not jealous. They're amazing.
Well,
Why would
not,
they be
I
jealous?
didn't say they all
No.
were.
Okay. Well,
Some are, you know, and
turn it to aspiration. That's what I do. Lots of villains do better than me.
yeah, and we do
Learn.
turn it to
Yeah.
aspiration. We all
Hmm.
have to.
Of course.
Yeah, there's always going to be someone who's, and that's something I had to accept because I was killing myself. So
Oh man, yeah.
it's better to accept who you are, do the best that
Mhm.
you can, be happy with what you are and you have to offer, and just celebrate the other people who are, doing well around you. I think that's so important.
Oh yeah. You gotta have
Mhm.
people that inspire wonder in you. Um, that's what motivates your art. there's got to be someone that you can look at and say, wow, how on earth did they do that? Because that's what leads you to develop more, or else we'll just all kind of retire. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. I hope that there are people that I can look at and be filled with wonder, like they are amazing. And of course, we all have those authors we look at, like Toni Morrison for me, where I was like, how on earth did a human being write this? Um, and instead of being jealous, like, well, what can I do?
I don't
Maybe I
know
can't
who
do
Toni
that,
Morrison
but
is. Who's Toni Morrison?
Toni Morrison is a literary writer. She writes sort of magical realism fiction. Beloved, you ever heard of Beloved?
Uh-uh. Should I?
No, there's a movie based on it too. Anyway, she's beautiful. She's one of the most important writers, I think, of our time. Um, so I read her in high school. Toni Morrison changed my life, though. I real quick. I was in high school. I was gonna do science. Okay, I was very good at science. Still love science, physics, chemistry, all that stuff. And everyone's like, she's gonna be a physicist or a doctor or something like that. And that's what I was gonna do. Sat down in an English class, and someone had gifted me a Toni Morrison, and she's really lofty and like dense literature, right? But it's beautiful. Um, she talks a lot about slavery and things like that too. So I had the Toni Morrison on my desk in this random English class, and the teacher walked by and she saw it, and she was like, "Whose book is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's mine." She's like, "You're reading Toni Morrison right now. Who assigned it?" And I was like, "No one. I just like Toni Morrison." And I didn't know this till later. She went that day, went to the principals and told them that girl needs to be in advanced English classes right now. Put her in AP Lit, because if she is enjoying reading Toni Morrison for no reason, she can write. So they reorganized my schedule, put me in with a teacher, the first teacher to ever tell me like you're going to be a writer when you grow up. And I didn't believe her for years. Um and she would like sit with me after class and she'd like read to me what you wrote today. And I would read it and she's like, you're brilliant. One of those teachers, the one that changes your life, like.
Wow.
And I was like, all because I had a little paperback, a little beat up paperback of Toni Morrison on my desk, and someone noticed.
Wow. Now that's a powerful one for our teachers,
Yep.
right? Well, my dear, as always, it's been fun visiting with you, and I'm happy to see where you are. You've just made the most of this time between your last interview and now. You've really moved and churned and shaken out what? It's going to be three. You've got three paperbacks out, right?
Yes. So it'll be 3, maybe 4 by the end of 2022. So look for them. You can follow me on Amazon and just see everything that I'm
Yes, I
putting
will
out
definitely
there.
put your Amazon author
Yes.
page in here
And
in the description of this video. And of
hey,
course,
maybe, sorry, maybe top 5, one of these days. That would be really cool. I've only ever made it to the top 7 for like a second. One of those like fave reset days on the first where I was like, oh my gosh. And then it was like an hour later, I'm like, nope, okay.
dude, I don't
So
even see the light from those low numbers.
fun.
Good, good.
Oh,
Yeah, anyway. So this has been fun, and I love you, and everybody out there, thanks for listening. And of course, keep reading Tashel's stuff and
and read
keep
Azrielle
watching.
stuff.
Read
Read
all.
Azrielle stuff too,
Well, you can
because
read my
they're
stuff too.
good. Yes.
Well, anyway, be sure and read out on Kindle Vella, one short episode at a time. We love you, and we'll see you later.